I'm actually at the side of the road in the Defender. It was going so well, and unfortunately it's died. It was driving along perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden there's a big old bang, and then a kind of sucking, whooshing, vibrating kind of noise. I cannot see any hose that is split or popped off or anything. I was hoping to get towed back to the workshop. Turns out I don't actually have the right cover to be towed more than so far, and it was too far. But between us, we've kind of concluded that it sounds like the turbo might have died. Oh, goodness me. It's a new day and I'm in the workshop. Thankfully, I made it back in the Defender. That was a very nerve-wracking drive back. Quite possibly a silly decision. Just wanted to get it back to the workshop where I know it's safe and I can fix it. The scary point of this is the turbo is obviously knackered. There's a bearing in the turbo that's lubricated with oil. That bearing sounds like it's gone, which means the oil could be entering into the intake to the engine, which is potentially very, very dangerous. All the time the engine's running, there's oil being pumped to the turbo. If that bearing and seal is knackered, which it sounds like it is, that oil could be passing through the turbo to the intake and going into the engine. And it's possible for diesel engines to ignite their own oil, a diesel runaway, basically, where you just can't control the revs because the throttle doesn't make any difference. You turn the ignition off, it doesn't make any difference because the engine is self-igniting the oil that it's pumping into the intake itself. So the more it's pumping, the higher the revs, the more it's pumping, the more oil it's pumping in, so the more the revs increase, and they just absolutely scream at full revs until they blow up.
Man, there's oil everywhere.
And that was definitely a worry whilst driving back. Terrifying. Anyway, it hasn't happened. I've got parts ordered. I'm going to lay them all out on the table, get the bonnet open. John is on the way up, thankfully. We've got the turbo, the oil feed pipe for the turbo to change as well, and that cam cover gasket for the top, which I think has caused all of these problems. Hope we can get this done. John is officially late. I don't know where he is. Of all the days for John to not be here. I have got a tight deadline today because this evening I am going up to London to a fancy dinner for the Guild of Motoring Writers awards ceremony and dinner. So I am short on time today. It is not the day for John to turn up late. I'm sure he'll have some fantastic excuse about the traffic at the tunnel being terrible or something. So I'm storming ahead and just taking bits off, like covers and heat shields and things, to gain access to the turbo, and most importantly, the bolts that hold it on, so I can soak them in WD-40 and keep everything crossed that nothing snaps and no bolts shear off, because that will turn a fairly straightforward job into a nightmare. There's the turbo. 4 bolts here holding that onto the rest of the exhaust. I think there's 2 or 3 bolts holding that bit onto the manifold, and the rest of it is intake, which is a bit more straightforward.
2 hours, mate. 2 hours.
Traffic at the tunnel?
Oh, traffic everywhere, everywhere. Oh.
Well, look, I've got you a coffee.
Oh, espresso, double espresso.
Joby Carter mug as well. Very good. I've laid it all out. Turbo, cam cover,
oil feed
gasket,
pipe, nice.
oil feed.
Oh, good.
Tools.
You parked it in a puddle then?
Yeah, well, yeah. I thought that'd be nice.
What have we done? Where's all that?
It's on the floor back here.
We don't have to do that bit.
Well, it was a big bit of plastic. It was in the way.
But we're there. We're down there, not here.
Well,
what's this for?
who?
Who's climbing in there?
I don't know. It's big old
yeah. Okay, right. Well, a little bit more to put back on. Oh dear, oh dear.
Up and over.
I've got to mind my aerial.
You always get the aerial side. You had the aerial side last time. Right, where do you want to start? Airbox.
Well, I want
to get the turbo out.
13mm socket.
Careful, don't pull these. Oh, it's going. It's going. It's going. It's going, John.
Oh. I need long reach socket, Dom.
You do? That's
Yeah.
bad.
I think we got to go big and quick before the rains come.
Yeah. But is this going to be possible?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I think so. Don't see why not. We should be all right, Dom. As long as them bolts come undone. They do look a bit rusty. There's not a lot of room, is there? I mean, there's more room than most, but
Yeah.
if we can get that manifold off and the DPF filter, because that burns really hot, let's have a go, mate. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, those bolts were what's worrying me. That will turn a fairly straightforward job into an absolute nightmare if we snap those bolts in the exhaust.
Well, there's one down the side of the turbo here that you can't even see, so that one is going to be slightly problematic. What's this stray dog, Dom?
That was off the intake,
Okay.
which was full of oil.
Yeah, so let's see if we can get this DPF, diesel particle filter. Well, that's a good start. That is a very good
All
start.
four of those cracked loose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably, hopefully they're like the copper coated nuts, which they do look like. They seem to work really well. One. I can't do the sesame, what was it? Sesame Street, that's it. I am now trying to undo the nuts onto the exhaust manifold. Now, two I can see. There we go. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but 3 out of 3 would be better.
Would be better, yeah. Can't see a thing what you're doing. Very unhelpful here.
But to be honest, mate, I can't really see what I'm doing either.
Okay. Good old WD-40. Saving the day again.
Thank you. Having struggled for about 10 minutes with a spanner, I realised I could actually get a socket underneath the turbo on an extent.
Yes.
Hey, there it is.
Victory.
Right, we've got the manifold nuts off, we've got the DPF nuts off, we've got the intake pipe off, we've unplugged our loom, so we've still got an oil feed.
So there's nothing holding it on?
Well, yeah, the oil feed pipe.
Okay.
Let's have oil pumped to it, and there will be a return, because that would be annoying,
John
wouldn't it?
is flying through this. It's 10:15. I'm not going to jinx it, but it's 10:15. I think, honestly, it's probably thanks to me removing all of the helpful bits of plastic that were in the way. No?
Absolutely.
I loosened everything for him, basically. It's now just a case of trying to wiggle it and wrangle it out of this very tight hole.
I'm looking to move this auxiliary bracket for the aircon and the alternator and everything else is right in our way. It is becoming a thing. So as much as I don't want to, I need to get to that feed pipe.
Yeah, we're struggling for access because the turbo is kind of buried down there and these pipes are all in the way. We're also going to change the feed pipe, and the fitting to the block for the feed pipe is buried behind this bracket. So to refit the feed pipe and the new turbo, we're going to have to take this bracket off to get to the feed pipe. So we've come to the conclusion that we may as well take this bracket off now, which will give us more access to get the thing off, because we're going to have to take it off anyway to put the new stuff on.
That's
Is that
it.
right?
That's correct.
There you go.
Oh. Look at that, this is so tight. Is there any wiggle room on this at all?
My brother Dan's done it. Here, this one.
What's the deal with that? You investigate that.
It's off. I've done it.
What should be 10 minutes has now turned into, well, 20 minutes.
Oh! Just throw this as far as we can. Goodness me. Maybe now's the time to put an induction kit on. Just an air filter.
That can't have a lot of stress on it.
I'm feeling stressed.
So am I. Okay, that's it. Just plonk him around there
here.
somewhere out of the way.
Right in the way. The bracket is coming off.
We've been Land Rovered. Right. Haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Dear me.
That's out. So we're just hooked on this one now. Oh dear. Right, there's that 13mm we're going to need, Dom. Oh, I thought we were going to have our first. Oh, well caught. I thought we was going to have our first trip.
Don't say that, John.
What?
It's a positive day.
Oh. I've got an auxiliary drive belt giving us a fight.
Yep.
And I need to make sure that goes back there before we bolt this bracket on. Otherwise we'll be in a world of pain. I can see
the oil. Hey!
Oh my God. Thank you, Land Rover.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What an invention.
Oh, well, praise indeed.
With
I mean,
500 bolts holding it on.
Oh my God.
That
is our oil feed
is
pipe.
why we've had to take that pipe off, that whole bracket off.
But equally, it gives us access to the return, which you can't really see. But so the oil goes in, lubricates the turbo, and comes back out the bottom into the sump, and it keeps going round. And this is so important for keeping that turbo alive. Here we go. Oh, there it is. In all its glory.
Not £80 that cost me for a new one of those.
Worth every penny, mate.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
We can't just put an airline through that and blow it out.
Some people do.
All these people ruining our audio. I'm really sorry. Look, there seems to be lorries.
Right, it's all quiet.
It was all nice and quiet a minute
I
ago.
wouldn't mind, but that's all the fan mail for you, Dom.
Yeah.
That's the complaints department. It's alive.
Nothing wrong with it.
There it is. Ooh. Look at Pete, straight in there.
Straight in there.
You got no fear. Spinning freezer bird, Pete.
Yep.
C solid.
C solid?
Yeah.
Is it?
No oil, bearing don't turn. End of. There we go. Oh, I can't believe it's off.
Well, at least that was the problem. I'm quite glad because we just guessed that it was the turbo.
What do you mean we just guessed?
We don't guess in the motor trade.
No,
I'm not in, that's why I'm not in the motor trade.
Years of experience. Plenty of play in that bearing.
Great. Well done.
That's it. Dead to me.
The scrap pile. Ever growing.
Fill the oil inlet hole with clean engine oil.
And we can actually start refitting new parts now, which is exciting. So every bit that we put back on now is a step closer to it being finished.
I think the term is reassemble, reverse order of dismantling.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
with a lot less stress. We fly through it.
Oh, good.
First thing, gaskets.
Thank you. Oh. Nice.
No gasket RTV?
No.
Silicon?
Nothing.
CT1?
Nothing can go in the DPF.
No.
No sealers allowed.
No sealers allowed.
No. Now, this is a funny shape. So it's only
Well,
going
it's
to
a
go.
triangle, John.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Dom. Glad to hear.
It is triangle with a hole in the middle.
Yeah, oh, it goes. He wants to go that way.
Well, that's fine. I don't mind.
There's my brush. There it is. Wonderful. Is it right? Is it wrong? It's an anti-seize compound.
Why is it wrong? I would definitely be smothering that everywhere.
No, we don't want it everywhere, but we definitely want to give ourselves a chance, don't we? This was like a right wiggle to get it off.
A bit more stressful now it's brand new and there's gaskets everywhere.
So close. Oh no, look, I'm bending up my gasket.
Yeah, I know, I saw it. I caught it on camera, it's fine.
Oh, that's okay. So close.
Oh,
yes, there it goes.
Yeah, there is a forklift next door. Sorry.
It's not John.
John is
it's
not
not
robotic,
Android. Yeah, I think we can afford to pull the turbo up onto the manifold and then probably pull the DPF up so we can get the mounting bolts in for it.
Commit, and so actually bolt it in forever.
Get the feed pipe running round, like off of the block and up, and then we can start building all this front back up.
Perfect.
Hopefully we'll have a bit of room at that point. Our new oil feed pipe to the turbo. Yeah.
Old one looks knackered. Good to change anyway.
I must. Yeah.
A must.
Yeah.
Essential.
With the new turbo, new pipe. Otherwise, no warranty. You've got to make sure the oil supply is good to the turbo.
I guess because that pipe is so thin inside, I guess it could be sludgy old oil.
Very thin bore. When the oil gets really hot and you turn it off, so it's red hot, just sits there and bakes. And then all of a sudden, like your arteries getting clogged up. That's why oil change is so important. Especially with today's motors, because they all run so hot with the turbos and keeping them clean. So oil is really important.
£80 that. At least it's shiny.
Worth every penny, mate. It shouldn't be up there, but let's get it started.
Just cross-thread that in there.
Oh,
that's it.
Oh,
Force it in there.
No forcing. Here we go.
That's got to be the right angle of the dangle, isn't it?
It certainly has. So let's feed him round gently.
All right, what's next? Our favourite piece.
Yeah.
With about 50 bolts holding it in. All different lengths.
Oh my God.
Go on, slide it in.
Do that, trying to hold that in. Oh, mind that. Over that, under that.
Stupid aircon.
Around the corner. On that bracket. At least this isn't in the way.
So easy to work on.
Really is a labour of love, isn't it? Oh my God, we're still not there yet. Hang on.
Gently. We have got very little time left. Rain is starting to come in. But parts are going on. Very nearly there. The pile of parts and the pile of nuts and bolts is getting a lot smaller. One more part going back in.
Oh, I need the bolts, mate.
Oh, okay. Can you at least look like you're putting it in?
Not without any bolts.
Auxiliary belt on the front. It is the longest belt. It snakes its way around the whole front of the engine. So I've drawn a fantastic diagram to aid us. Just loop it over there, John. Just your left hand, just loop it on. Yeah? That's it. Just loop it over. Oh. Shall I just force it? Oh.
You're not forcing it.
Oh. Hey! Get it in there.
Oh, that looks a bit better than the one that come out.
It does. Well worth changing.
Absolutely.
So it's not as asthmatic. There's the lid. Get that on. A couple of clips missing.
That goes on easy.
Yeah, straight on there.
It's meant to hook in them bits at the back.
Yeah. Elephant's trunk next. As you know, John, it's quite hard to focus this. It's quite hard to get a shot in focus.
Thanks for bringing that up.
A big moment, John. We've got an empty tray. Look at that.
Well, one empty tray.
One empty tray.
What have we got left? What are you handing me this for?
It goes on here.
What, already? There's a bolt missing. Oh, God. Oh, gee. Probably the easiest job of the day so far.
Well, let's not say that. Famous last words, John.
Oh, I need a big Phillips screwdriver, Dom. A little one then.
We need to prime the turbo. So John hasn't connected the oil feed pipe to. Don't do it without me, John.
No.
Basically, we need to pour a little bit of oil into the turbo. So on first start, there is some oil in there. It's kind of primed essentially.
I'm doing it.
John wants a syringe.
Oh, this is so wrong.
Go on, pour it in there. I can't see. As I was saying, basically, John is filling up the turbo where the oil will be pushed in from the engine. But on first start, before the oil gets through the pipes and to the turbo, there's just a bit of oil in there to kind of prime it all and lubricate it before the oil from the engine makes its way to the turbo.
No bolts left over.
The last two bolts are in.
They're in. They're in. Absolute nightmare.
I can't believe we've done it.
Well, we haven't done it yet until we hear it, have we? John tested it. But as far as turbo fitted, yeah.
That will be heartbreaking if there's a massive oil leak from that oil feed pipe into the block. Something like that.
Mate, yes, that would be devastating, Tom. Yeah. I am fitting the new oil filter.
So you've got the sump plug off, oil filter off.
New filter housing, new sump plug going in.
Blimey, no expense spared.
Hey, who you dares, Rodney?
It's all going on under there.
It's all happening.
And we can't see any of it.
No, sorry.
You'll have to just take John's word for it.
I'm doing it blind as well.
Here we go. Oil light flashed on, but it's gone off again. The dash looked like a Christmas tree of warning lights. Look at that.
Well, we don't know if it works yet.
Well, the belt hasn't shot off, no? Yeah. Don't pat my back. There's not really a lot to see filming it.
No, but it sounds well. Well, proof's in the pudding, Dom. Let's go up and down.
Do you want to do the honours? Or do you want me?
You know what I'm like at filming, John Cam. Nice and easy, no heroics.
I'll be careful.
Can we run without the bonnet? I like that.
I like it. That sounds a lot better.
And we're off.
Oh, brilliant.
Hi.
This quick release bonnet is quite good,
It's
isn't it?
the best thing in the world, isn't it? Hang on, I've got fingers.
Not for long. Time is up. I have got to jump in a Defender and run to London because I'm going to be late.
Don't break it.
I'll be careful. But thank you so much, John. And I hope this has been insightful to anybody watching. Anybody that ever thought of trying to change the turbo yourself.
Don't
twice.
do it.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the easier ones.
No.
Yeah.
With all the aircon and all the other bracket and everything
Yeah,
else?
afraid so, mate.
Okay, well, if that's as easy as it gets, I don't fancy doing another one. The Defender hasn't been on the channel for a while because it's been working. And hopefully it won't be back on the channel for a while again. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get to put a few more miles on it before it comes back in. But I hope you've enjoyed watching today. Leave us any comments below and tune in 5 p.m. next week. Who knows what we're going to be doing then?
I don't know.
We'll see what breaks next. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.